everyone, I am here today to do my high-end best of beauty for 2022. I have some great products here and there are so many that I love so much that I've repurchased time and time again. So I'm going to share those with you today. If you are new, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and let's jump right into my 2022 best of beauty. So I cut bangs because I'm 1 year postpartum. I had 4 hairs covering all of this regrowth. And so I just cut those little 4 hairs, and the bang world is not for me. So, you know, just bear with me as I try to figure out what to do with this hair situation. So we're going to start off kind of like how I get ready. There are a few things that I don't have because I've already finished them up, but they're on my list to repurchase. So I'm not doing skincare or hair care, body care. If you want a video on that and fragrances, then let me know and I can film a separate one. So I do start off every morning with sunscreen. So I have a little combo that I really love. One of the products I'm out of, it's the Drunk Elephant De Bronzy Drops. I love mixing that with a sunscreen. The sunscreen that I'm missing that was also really great is the Charlotte Tilbury sunscreen. It was more of a lotiony consistency. There was no white cast. It blended really beautifully with makeup. It's technically, I think, a sunscreen primer, and it was absolutely beautiful. This is another favorite that, don't mind the packaging, it's pretty trashed, but this is the Summer Fridays sunscreen, and it's SPF 30. It's super lightweight on the skin. It's very liquidy. There's hardly anything left. This is gonna be in an empty soon. So I start off my routine is with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I put this all over my face. I have a few different shades. The one I've been using most often is 4.5. I kind of just put that all over my face with the big doe foot applicator. This is what it looks like. And I put that on, and then I take a couple like squirts or drops of the De Bronzy drops, and then whatever sunscreen I'm using. So it was the Charlotte Tilbury, and then now this one. Both of those sunscreens are phenomenal. And I mix the De Bronzy drops in the sunscreen, and then I just blend it all over my face with the Flawless Filter as well, and it just gives the most bronzed, glowy base. It's so pretty. So if you are somebody that doesn't really like to wear a lot of makeup, just the combination of those three would give you the most beautiful, like bronzy, glowy skin, and you wouldn't need to go on with anything else, because the De Bronzy drops mixed with something like this do give a slight bit of coverage, and it's just really, really beautiful. So that combo is amazing. Both those sunscreens were phenomenal. Primer, just my ride or die primer, man. This thing is so good. The Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. I've gone through so many of these. If you watch my empties, you know that I've gone through a lot of them. The Glow one is also really good. This one is just my favorite, so I'm forcing myself to use other things and use up some of the primers I've had for a while. But this one is my tried and true. Every time I travel, it's what I take with me because I know my makeup's gonna be amazing no matter what. So this one is a little over halfway finished, but I've probably gone through, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these over the last few years. It's just a phenomenal primer. It just really grips your foundation nicely. The Glow one is also really pretty, but this one's my favorite. A few foundations that really stood out to me for last year. One of them, I've gone through at least 2 of them last year. The Catrice True Skin. This is just such a beautiful foundation. I did a how to make your makeup last all day video, and this is what I wore to Disneyland. It was hot out. It was not last year, but the year before, where we were constantly wearing masks. And actually, was it? Yeah, it was 2021, because we still had to wear masks at Disneyland. And it really, really held up beautifully. It's a super nice, lightweight, great coverage foundation, feels like skin. I have a few different shades. I purchased mine on Amazon. You used to be able to get them at Ulta, but I think you can get them off the Catrice website as well. But this is a phenomenal foundation. I love the way it looks on my skin. I love the way it wears. It's just really, really beautiful. Obviously, I have to mention the Makeup Forever foundation. This is their HD Skin. I have already gone through a full bottle of this and repurchased it. I have a few shades again for when I'm more fair to when I'm a little bit more tan. I love mixing this. This is one of those foundations that is amazing on its own, but when you mix it with other foundations, it just makes those other foundations 10 times better. It's amazing. So this one is 2N26. This is the one that I had gone through the whole thing and repurchased that same shade. It's a pretty good shade when I'm not having a ton of self tanner on. When I have a nice fresh one, it's a little bit light, but this is a wonderful foundation, and I have yet to find somebody who doesn't like it. Then the last one is one that is not a new foundation, but I kind of rediscovered it back in 2022 and forgot why I stopped using it because it is so amazing. Nobody ever talks about this foundation anymore. It's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. This is in the shade 41NN. And it is so lightweight. It's so beautiful. It looks like skin. It lasts all day. It is just a really, really wonderful foundation. So if you've had this in your collection and you forgot about it, I highly recommend pulling it out. Or if you're looking for a new foundation to try, it is absolutely beautiful. Lightweight, looks like skin, doesn't cling to dry patches, has great staying power. It's just really pretty. It says up to 24-hour wear. I don't know about 24 hours, but I get ready at 5 in the morning, and at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night when I'm taking my makeup off, it still looks amazing. Concealers. The two concealers that really stood out to me is actually this combination. I just love the two together. I have heard not one person talk about this Kulfi concealer. It's a newer brand to Sephora. I have the shade Cocoa Crush. I'm almost out of it because you can see I'm like scraping along what's left. So I've already repurchased it. And so I use the color Cocoa Crush and I mix it with the Say Concealer in shade 3. Both are really amazing. I have drier under eyes, so it just really hydrates the under eyes. It makes them look so youthful and lovely. All concealers are gonna settle into my fine lines, but these ones don't get too settly and they don't look crepey. It's not drying and it looks really, really beautiful, and it doesn't look heavy on the under eyes. So this combination of concealers, amazing. For powders, the two powders that, well, there's 3 actually. Let me grab the third. The one I almost forgot, I don't know how I could forget because I've already used 3 of them, is this NYX powder in, what do they call it? The Can't Stop, Won't Stop powder. I have the shade medium. That's the shade I prefer. It's a beautiful all over face powder. I absolutely love it. I just use like a big fluffy brush, zhuzh it in there, and it just sets everything so nicely. It doesn't make you flat or too matte. It does, I feel like, do a great job of keeping down any shine that you might have, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I've gone through multiples of these. I really, really like it, and I used a lot of them last year. The other powders I like are the Urban Decay All Nighter powder. I think I prefer the pressed one over the loose, but the loose one works great as well. I don't use this under my eyes. I use this to set my whole face, and I'll typically just dip my damp beauty blender in there and then set it all over, and it really does just lock everything in. It's very finely milled, very lightweight, so it doesn't look heavy or cakey on your skin. It also doesn't change the color of your foundation, which is really nice. So I love this for all over. And then 2 really good under eye powders. Where did the other one go? Oh, here it is. I was like, where did it go? 2 under eye powders that are beautiful. This Givenchy powder in the rose color, the violet rose, is absolutely beautiful. This is one that I can only use under my eyes though. If I use it all over my face looks way too cakey and heavy. But I have more normal skin. My friend Sam, she sets her whole face with this, but she has more oily skin and it looks great on her. If I do it, it looks way too much, way too heavy, but it's absolutely beautiful for under the eyes. It really brightens and smooths the under eye area. So if you're looking for a really good under eye powder, I think you would really like this one, especially in this rose violet color. If you're more oily, you can try setting your whole face with it. For me, it's just too much, but a powder I do like for under my eyes and on my face is these 2. Different colors though. I use Pound Cake. This is by Huda Beauty. I use the Pound Cake under my eyes with like a little puff like this you can get on Amazon. And then I set all over my face with Banana, or I use the Banana one to kind of like sharpen up my like contour. I don't bake because I would look like a 90-year-old woman if I baked. So I don't put powder on, like heavy powder under my eyes and then leave it. I literally do the lightest dusting under my eyes. The only time I might bake is if I was just kind of trying to clean this up, and I'd let it sit for like 5 seconds and then I'd wipe it off. So I'm not a big baking kind of girl, but those Huda Beauty powders are really, really good. Okay, now we have to like set everything, right? So you guys know I sing this from the rooftops. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray is so good. I just finished one up, and so I pulled out a fresh new one. This is amazing. It's the only setting spray that I use. I gladly get rid of all the other setting sprays I have just because this one is so amazing. I really do believe that that is the reason my foundation really stays all day. So for bronzers, I couldn't think of any powder bronzers that I really loved. I love the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, but I feel like I'm kind of in a bronzer rut. So if you have a bronzer that you really love, let me know down in the comments below. But there was a cream bronzer that I really liked, and it was the Say bronzer it's their Sun Melt in medium bronze, and you can tell I really liked it because it's got a nice big dent in it. It's just a really beautiful, like warmer bronzy tone. It blends super easily into the skin. It looks really beautiful. I'm finding that some cream bronzers just start to look really muddy on me. Like when I blend them in, it just starts to look muddy. This doesn't do that. So I have really enjoyed this cream bronzer, but I don't have a powder bronzer. That was a favorite this year. I also don't have a cream blush that was a favorite or a highlighter that was a favorite this year. Nothing like really stood out to me that isn't something that's like been in my collection for a really long time or limited edition. I can think of a couple that I used a ton this year, but they are no longer available, so I didn't think it was worth mentioning. But blush, I could not mention these. These are the only blushes I'm going to mention because they're pretty much the main blushes I used all year round. I started out with the Dior Rosy Glow, and it's just a really beautiful bright pink color. It's very cool toned, very bubblegummy, and it's so beautiful. And I really wanted to try the coral, but I wore this one for months. It was the only blush I used. Then the coral came back in stock, and that's literally what I wear every day. I have to convince myself to wear something else. So let me show you them side by side. So this is very like hot magenta bubblegum pink, where this one is definitely more of a corally, like peachy color. So they're very different, but they look so beautiful on the skin. I absolutely love them. This one's my all-time favorite. I could get rid of all my blushes and just keep this blush and be happy forever. It's also what I have. Oh no, it's what I have on my cheeks right now. So these blushes, like almost out of anything in this video, these are what I would mostly recommend. That and the setting spray. To eyes, I have quite a few eye palettes or eye products that I just really loved this year. And they were kind of like my staple go-to. So the first, I have to mention the Makeup by Mario matte palette. This is kind of what I used every single day. I got a new matte palette about a week or two ago. You'll see in an upcoming haul. And that one I've been using a ton lately. But this has been like what I travel with, what I use every day. I pull it out every day for my brow bone, for my transition colors. If I need like some deeper colors to like smudge out the lash line. I mean, it just is a really fantastic palette. You got some warm and some cools in there, and it just is a beautiful palette. So this I've been taking everywhere with me. I use it nearly every day until I got that other palette that I'll show you in a haul, but it's just a great palette. So if you like mattes, if you like neutrals, I think you'd really like this. This one I use nearly every day. It is Moon Dust, the Moon Dust Shadow from Urban Decay in Space Cowboy. And I literally use this almost every day. It's just so pretty. So the way that I apply these actually is you could use your finger, but I like to take kind of like a fluffy-ish, flattish brush, and then I just apply it like that. And I love the way it looks. I mean, I already have some on, but is that not so pretty? It's the most beautiful sparkle ever. So this is pretty much, I almost finish off every eyeshadow look with this Space Cowboy because it's so pretty. And they have a bunch of other, I think they have like 5 or 6 other colors, but this one's the one I reach for all the time. Palette that I used almost every single day this last year once I got it is this Manny MUA palette. I guess it's Lunar Beauty, Nude Prism. And it's got some beautiful mattes, but where it really shines is these right here. They're very like similar to like a ColourPop shadow, but they're filled with shimmery glitter, and the glitter stays on your lid, and it's so reflective and so beautiful. Let's see if I can swatch a couple of them. So most days it was one of these shimmers that were on my eyes. I like the mattes too. The mattes are really pretty, but the shimmers are really like what sold me. I don't even know if you'll be able to pick it up. It's just, it doesn't do it justice seeing it on this camera. When it's on your eyes, it's so reflective and beautiful. So if he came out with a palette that was literally just those type of shadows, I'd buy it again and again and again. So this palette is so beautiful, and the mattes are really nice as well, but those like shimmery, sparkly, glittery shades are just amazing. Is this one. I hadn't gotten PR from Too Faced in years, and then this just showed up one day, the Better Than Chocolate palette, and I'm obsessed with it. The mattes are so beautiful. If you just took out this color and that purple, it's like the perfect neutral palette. It smells like chocolate, but the shades are just so pretty, and this shade right here is the most beautiful shimmer all over the lid. So I love this palette. If you can still get your hands on it, I definitely recommend it. It's probably one of my favorite Too Faced palettes that they've came out with in years and years and years. It's very, very good. Palette that I kind of, if I wasn't using this matte palette, I was using this palette, and it's the Supreme Nudes by Artist Couture. And you can tell because I've hit pan on quite a few of them. I don't care for his shimmers, to be honest. Like these 4 shades here, I don't know that I've ever really reached for them, but all the other matte shades in here, I just love. They're super blendable. And so basically the palette that I'm talking about that you're gonna see in a haul is this little, they made a mini one, and it's the Supreme Nudes Matte Masterpiece, and it looks like this, and I use this all the time. But the mattes in this are really great as well, and they're a little bit different than that particular palette. Actually, let's compare them. Wasn't planning on doing that, but so you can see they do actually have some similarities. You probably, if you just want the mattes, I would just get this littler palette, but this I hadn't had in 2022, where this one I used a ton in 2022. And you might like the shimmers, they're just not my favorite color. He also came out with a mauve palette that's also very pretty, but I didn't reach for that one nearly as much. Last for eyes are these little Charlotte Tilbury quads. They have a bunch of quads. I'm sure you can find a color combo that you like, but these are the ones that I used the most often. So this one is Pillow Talk Dreams, and I just love those shimmer shades. They're super sparkly and reflective. I use them, you can use them with your finger, or I use like a brush, like I just showed you how I applied that sparkle on my lid. And then these are just really beautiful, warmer, kind of like pinky browns that I just am obsessed with. And then this one is full of beautiful sparkle as well. And this one is the Luxury Palette, Flawless Eye Filter Luxury Palette in Star Aurora. And this one's more of a baked gelée formula, where this one is like a powder formula. So these are just really beautiful. They're very expensive, but I love them, and I love the look that they give all over the eye. I'm not looking for super punchy shadows. I'm not looking for insane pigment. This is kind of the look that I go for on every day, is just kind of like a blown out crease, a little bit of darkness on the outer, and then a really pretty sparkly lid. That's what I've been into pretty much all of 2022. And those are the type of shadows that I tend to reach for. So if you like something super pigmented, super punchy, super metallic, those probably wouldn't be for you. But if you like a soft kind of romantic sparkly eye, I think you'd really like them. For a lip treatment or a lip balm, this Kosas Plump and Juicy Collagen Lip Boost was amazing. I use this every single morning when I'm getting ready. The other one I really love is the Summer Fridays. That one is by my bed. I have them in, I think, all the flavors, scents, colors that she comes out with. But the just plain vanilla is the one by my bed, and I love it. But the Kosas is so nice. It's so hydrating. It feels great on the lips. So I put that on first thing in the morning when I come in here, put that on, do my makeup, and then wipe it off to do my lips. But I love this. I feel like it's very hydrating. For lip liners, I have these 3 right here. This one, I think, oh, I don't know if you, actually, I'm not even gonna mention that. Well, I'll tell you, but I'm not gonna. Toast and Butter. I don't know if you can get this from MAC anymore. It's just a really pretty lip liner. I'm sure it looks exactly like the other ones I'm gonna show you. Toast and Butter. I used this a ton. I'm surprised that that's all that's left. It's like, I probably have like, I don't know, 3, 4 uses left of it. It's a really, maybe more than that, beautiful lip liner. Wherever Walnut, I've gone through so many of these last year. Similar enough. The Toast and Butter's a little warmer. Really pretty everyday lip liner. But Kala lip liner, did I not tell you guys last year how much I loved this? I've repurchased this probably 4 or 5 times. And that one is Kala. And it's just the most beautiful lip liner. I love them. They're everyday lip liners for me. This lip liner, I almost forgot to mention this, is Sugar and Spice by LA Girl. I've gone through at least 2 or 3 of these, and it's just such a pretty everyday color. They're very similar, like all of these are very, you know, in the same realm, but they're so pretty. It's literally what I use every day. For lip stick, this is like gone. This is the Pat McGrath lipstick in Nude Venus. I love it so much that I've literally been taking this flat brush and digging it in there to get the like every little bit out of it. I've never done that with the lipsticks before. It's what's on my lips, obviously. It's so beautiful. I have a small version of this too, but the Nude Venus shade is like perfection. Isn't that so pretty? So that is definitely one of my top lipsticks. I hadn't been into like real like MAC lipstick or anything in 2022. I liked more of a glossy lip. So these Makeup by Mario little serum lipsticks have been phenomenal. This one is in Petal Glow. I have them in probably like 6 or 7 different shades. So whatever shade you like, but they're just super high, like glossy. They do have a little bit of plumping to them, but they're not uncomfortable, but they're super pretty and they look very hydrating and juicy on the lips. So I really, really liked those. And I, you know, honestly, I know a lot of people like the Tarte Maracuja ones. I just didn't love them. I had probably 6 of them, 6 different colors. 3 of them broke like within a week. And the only way you can get them to come up is like clicking the bottom, and the clicker will click, but it doesn't push any product up. So I have 3 out of the 6 that I can't even use because I can't get the product to come up and out of it. So that's super annoying. And they honestly did not sit very pretty on my lips. They kind of looked heavy on my lips, and they really, really dried my lips out. Like I would put it on and within maybe an hour of wearing it, my lips felt really crusty, which I've never had that issue with a lip product before. So the Maracuja ones are not my favorite, but I do love the Hourglass ones. This one is in the shade Mist. I wear this quite often. Now this one has a twist up versus a click, but it's that same super glossy, juicy formula. So I have the color Mist and Trace, and both of them I love a lot. And I've had no problem with the packaging, where the Tarte ones, the packaging is not great. And then 2 lip oils. I wear these all the time. The Item Beauty, are they discontinuing this at Sephora? Because I'm having a hard time finding them. But if you have this in your collection or you can find them, these Item Beauty lip clips are amazing. I have all the shades. They're super juicy and glossy and beautiful on the lips. They smell sweet like candy, but they're really pretty. If you cannot find these, the House Labs ones are amazing. The Coral one is my all-time favorite. It's in my purse, but I have all the shades now, and they're just very lovely. I think I'll put one on. This one is in Tint. They just give such a juicy lip, like look to your lips. Like you could even just put on some lip liner and then put this on and your lips just look juicy and gorgeous. These Anastasia lip glosses, I got these. I had one color that I got like in the summer, and then in Vegas I bought a separate second color, but they're their diamond glosses. And this one is in Peachy and this one is in Amber Sparkle. And they're just glittery and reflective and super, super pretty. And I love them. Amber Sparkle is what I wore in Vegas a lot. It's the one I got this summer. And then Peachy, no, I got Peachy this summer, and then I got Amber Sparkles when I was in Vegas in November. But they're super pretty. That one's Amber Sparkles and that one is Peachy. If you're looking for like a really pretty glittery lip gloss that doesn't feel gritty on your lips, you'd really love those. Last but not least, a liner. I just repurchased 3 of them because they're my favorite. I pretty much can get rid of every liquid liner at this point. It's the Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid liner. The reason I love it is it's brush tip. It's a super, super fine tip, so you get that really nice flick. It's super easy to use. It lasts a pretty decent amount of time as far as like how much use you can get out of it. And it stays all day. It doesn't smudge or wear off. And it stays nice and black and matte. So this is my favorite of all time. You guys know I used to love the Wet n Wild one, but the last few that I bought of the Wet n Wild Breakup liner, it had, it kept bubbling out and then it kept gunking up on me, and I was not getting that really nice crisp line. It was starting to crumble And so I don't know if they changed the formula or if I got a couple bad ones, but I switched over to using this one and I love it and I continue to repurchase it. I have 3 mascaras. The first one is the Lancome Tint Idol mascara. It is really great. I have horrible lashes, so I love how it like volumizes and lengthens my lashes. It is a rubber wand, which I typically don't like, but I love this one. It looks amazing, makes my lashes look phenomenal. So I've repurchased this quite a few times. The other one that's great, which is funny, maybe I don't like the regular bristle wands because what do you know? We have another rubber wand. So this one is the Push Up Mascara by Charlotte Tilbury. And the thing I love about these is that they actually like kind of help my lashes hold a curl because mine tend to fall flat really quickly and they're short and stubby. And those just do a really good job of lengthening, thickening, and volumizing and keeping the curl in my lash, which I need all the help. This one's probably my number one go-to. I just repurchased it. It's the Tower 28 mascara, and it's another rubber wand. So I must like rubber wands. I keep saying that I'm a natural bristle girl, but clearly I have been converted. This one is almost completely gone. I'm like scraping the inside, but that's what I have on today. And it does give me great volume considering that I have pretty puny lashes. All right, guys, that is it for my 2022 favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me know some of your favorite products that you loved in the year 2022. And I can't wait to see what new makeup launches come out this year. If I'm at the end of this year loving the same stuff I loved all of last year. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.